All right, guys. So we just wrapped up day 4 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. So what did we go over today? Initially, we started with applying for our EIN for our business trust. Then we transitioned into having a board meeting so that you guys can do proper documentation for your trust entities. And then we transitioned into properly documenting how much you're going to fund the trust with the promissory notes. And then lastly, we reviewed business credit so that you guys can leverage other people's money, which is the bank's money, in order for you to build the generational wealth that you need to build for your family and leave that long-lasting legacy. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and open up the floor for Q&A. I have a couple minutes here to be able to answer any questions that you guys might have based off of the information that we went over today. So let's start Q&A. So the first hand I see up is Cece. Hi, Cece.
Hi, good afternoon again. Thanks again. I have two brief questions. The first one is about the promissory note. You were saying that for the borrower's address, if that's the business trust, we're going to use the virtual address for the business trust. But for the lender part, where that would be us putting money in, we could use the address that's on our driver's license, essentially.
Yes, that's correct. Yeah, so this promissory note is for your internal record. So this is a part of your trust documentation. So whatever address that is associated with the trustee, right? So, or the lender, whoever the lender is, right? So if you're the lender, whatever address is associated. So you're going to put your name, your address.
Okay, and then the second question is for when you were talking about being like the personal grantor on the business line of credit,
Yes.
what are the pros and cons to being the personal guarantor? Does it make our information public then if they search the credit records?
So, the pros I would tell you is one, getting an approval with the financial institution, and then also it's going to allow you to build the business credit faster. So you can build it fairly quickly, like I said, in 45 days, right? Um, and so the cons I would tell you is that now you're going to be liable for that debt on the personal side, which is ideally something that we don't want to do. And so that's one of the cons. And then two is that it's also going to reflect on your personal credit. You're going to have like a hard inquiry, which could potentially lower your personal credit. And then some of these financial institutions, not all, but some. So I would definitely tell you like Discover and Capital One. Those institutions will actually put the business credit on your personal profile. So those are cons, and that's why a lot of people, they try to shy away from becoming a personal guarantee for their business because they don't want to be liable for that debt. But
Okay, and
as far as it's so that you being a personal guarantee is only like an internal thing on that financial institution's in their like records. So it's not like a part of like the public records.
okay, so the downside though is you're you're on the hook uh if you end up in deeper debt than you anticipated or something. And then what if you establish the credit, then could you um close it? Now the business has credit and then the business reapply for that credit on their own that they
Yeah.
would have had from history?
Yeah, you can always close and reopen accounts.
Okay. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome, Cece. All right, next we have Dr. Don. Hey, Dr. Don.
Sorry. Okay, there we go. All right. Thanks for everything today. Just have a few questions.
Yes, ma'am.
What happens? Um, okay, so we have the LLCs. Oh, I have to switch this over here so I can look at you. Okay. I have two LLCs. Those LLCs, will my name be able to come off of the bank account and the trust name be on a bank account, or will those LLCs still be able to be linked back to me because my name is on the bank account if I'm going to keep those bank accounts?
That's a really good question. Thank you for asking that wonderful question. Okay. So we're going to discuss a portion of that tomorrow, but I'll just dive in right now. You are going to be setting up a business trust that's then going to own the LLCs. That's correct, right? Okay.
Mhm.
So what you're gonna do is, and I'll show you this tomorrow, is you're going to remove your name from being an authorized member on the LLCs. So
Okay.
we're gonna go down to the Secretary of State's website where you went to actually go set up those LLCs. So let me ask you, where did you establish your LLCs? What state?
Georgia.
Okay, so we're gonna go to the Secretary of State of Georgia, and we're gonna do an amendment to the Articles of Organization for your LLCs. We're gonna remove you as the authorized member, and now we're gonna place the business trust as the authorized member. We're gonna submit those amendments to the Secretary of State for Georgia, and now it's going to reflect that the owners of those LLCs is the business trust. Now you're going to contact your bank and you're going to let them know that the authorized member has changed and it's no longer you, it's the business trust. The only issue with the bank is that every single bank is different. And so they want to still have a human attached to it, right? Because a trust can't sign. There has to be an authorized, signatory. So they're gonna update it. They're gonna update it to they have like different sections. So the owner is gonna show as the business trust, but the authorized signatory is gonna be shown as you. Now, your LLCs are a separate entity from your business trust. So your LLCs, those bank accounts are going to remain intact. You don't want to commingle those funds with your business trust. Your business trust needs its own bank account, okay? And that's its own funds. So more than likely what you're going to be doing is you're going to be moving money from your LLC to your business trust, but they still need its own separate account. It's not the same money, okay?
All right. Great. All right. And then the next thing was, I think you just answered that question as well. So with the websites, I already have websites for those two LLCs. I'm gonna need those two LLC websites and I need another one for the trust.
So that's a really good question as well. It depends on how you operate the business trust.
Okay.
You only need a website for the business trust if you're going to go for funding for the
Okay.
business trust.
Okay. All right.
So for that, remember I explained it before we started going into credibility and funding. I told you guys that you want to create a business trust that's specifically for credit. But that business trust that's specifically for credit is not going to be the same business trust that you're going to use as a holding company.
Okay.
Okay, because that holding company has assets. So the credit building trust is not the asset holding trust, which is the holding company, okay? So for the holding company, you do not need, you don't need it. It's up to you if you want to go down that route of getting a domain and all of these other things for it,
Okay.
okay?
Okay. But we don't have to. Okay. And then one last question. If I already had a revocable trust for like my advanced care directives and stuff like that, I can still keep that. And then that'll just be an additional trust that I have with these here that I've just established.
Yes,
Okay. Nothing will supersede. It's just a different type of trust.
it's a different entity.
Okay. All right. Oh, and one last question that I asked this actually before you came on, but I want to ask it again. Okay, so if there was a previous will, how do I get rid of, because I don't want it to be an issue, because now I don't need the wills, I have the trust. But if the will was already filed with the county, I just go to the county and tell them I don't want the will with them anymore?
Yeah, so
Cancel
you
it?
go with, yeah, so you cancel it or you I don't remember the exact term.
Hmm. Okay,
What is the exact term? Pretty much you just terminate the will. So you'll
terminate
go
it.
down,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, there's another word though. I just can't remember what the word is, but yeah, you'll terminate the will that you registered with the county.
You
Okay.
unfile it.
What is it, Antonio?
You unfile it.
Unfile it. Okay. Okay. Thank you. That's all I had.
I
You're
thought it was
welcome.
an amendment.
It's not amendment. There's another word that we haven't even said here that is that's stuck in my head that I'm looking for that I can't find.
Okay.
Dissolve?
Oh, dissolve, maybe?
Yeah, it's not dissolve.
Okay.
Revocation.
No. But you do have to, so you'll just go down to the county and you'll let them know that you want to terminate your will, and then they'll give you the paperwork that you need. So everything
Okay.
is county specific.
Is it
Okay, great.
Revoke the will?
Revoke. That's not it, but that sounds good though.
I
Playing
Googled
name
it.
that term.
I just Googled what do
Sounds
you do
good.
when you want to
Revoke
cancel
the
a will?
will. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
All
sounds
right.
good.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Erica. All right, next we have Miss Dina. Hey, Miss Dina. Miss Dina,
Curtis
Dina,
style.
Dina, B54 FEMA, Miss Dina.
Can you hear me? I'm here.
Beautiful
Hello?
lady, beautiful lady. Of course I can hear you. How are you?
Oh, great, great. Glad to see you. Glad to be back again. Every time I see the workshop, I just hop on. So
Yeah,
and I learn something.
I love it. I, I love it.
Yeah, that's me. I do. So here's my question, because I get myself all confused sometimes. Now, I just got to go over this real quick. The DUNS number that we're trying to get is for the LLC, right? Not for
Uh,
the business trust.
it Well, no, so it's for whatever entity you want it to be for. So if you need a DUNS number for your LLC, you can get a DUNS number for your LLC. So any
Okay.
entity, yeah, any entity that's considered a business and that has an EIN can get a DUNS number. So LLCs, corporations, nonprofits, trust.
Okay. If I have it and I'm using it and I have it for my trust, how would it be beneficial for me to get it for a trust, for my trust? What am I going to do with it?
So what we were saying was if you don't have, so Ms. Dina, you have an LLC, right?
That's what I'm getting ready to do with Mr. Dorsey. Yes.
Okay, so you don't have an LLC?
Not yet. No.
Oh, okay. All right. So what I'm saying is that for those of you guys who have LLCs, you want to build credit for your LLCs, okay? So those are statutory entities. They're already a part of the public record. So there's no hoops that you have to jump through, right?
Okay.
Now, for those of you guys that don't have LLCs, and you don't have any other legal entity, then you want to use your trust as that legal entity that you can build credit with. So,
Uh,
yeah, so that's why we would go down that route. So if you don't have, any legal entities already, then you'll set up a business trust only specifically to build credit. If that is, if that's what you want to do, which I recommend that people build business credit. You want to leverage a second credit profile. You don't only want to, rely on your personal credit.
okay. All right. No, I don't want to do that. So therefore, again, but like you were saying, if you do that, you don't have to necessarily go through all the other steps of doing a website and a domain and all that. If you're just really doing the done for the build up credit for the trust, is that correct?
Okay, so what I'm saying is if you're going to build credit for the trust, yeah, you do have to go through that pathway of becoming credible, that entity looking credible. If you're not building
Okay.
credit, if you're not building credit for the business trust, then you can avoid that because that's only for funding purposes.
Got it. So in my case, I am doing that because I am trying to build trust,
You are right.
business credit, and I want to do it through the trust. So that's the path I'm gonna.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that was all. Yeah. Okay. So because I want to eventually, I want to, when I get the LLC, I want to use it as the holding,
Uh-huh.
right? If I want to put my LLC, in it, that means I'm going to use it as a holding. Do I
Correct.
have that part right? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So if you're gonna put your LLC under the business trust, and the business trust is going to be a holding.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much. You have taught me so much. I couldn't even have these kind of conversations just 5 years ago. So thank you. You're doing such an excellent job. Be blessed.
You're welcome, Ms. Dina. I absolutely love you, my dear. Thank you for showing up in the workshops whenever you have the opportunity and time to do so. Thank you, Ms. Dina.
You're welcome.
All right, next we have Stacy. Hey, Stacy.
Hey, Christina. I just want to also say that this whole series, this actually was the unexpected part. This is my second time around, but the fact that you actually came in with just a complete package in terms of investments and everything is just, again, beautiful. So thank you again. I'll try to be very brief with my questions. So first one, I'm curious. I know you said we're going to be in the public eye, right? If we build this business credit under the trust, would you ever recommend that we do a DBA with the trust and do business as, a different name so that we're still, or can you even do that so that you're still building that business credit under the trust, but still kind of in a different name so that the trust isn't so public?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds good. You can definitely register a DBA and do business under a different name. I mean, there's so many different strategies. So if you want to do that strategy, you can. Another thing is that they're not going to know that it is a trust unless you put the word trust in the name. So
That's a good point.
yeah, they're still gonna think, for example, you could even use the abbreviations LLC if you wanted to. So for example, if I have Sunflower, right? The name of my business trust is Sunflower LLC. Guess what it looks like?
An LLC. Gotcha. That's actually interesting. That makes me think about other businesses now that are out there.
There's so many strategies.
Okay, that's good to know. The other question I had, a couple more quick ones, but you mentioned when we were setting this up, I thought I saw you say you can use a portion of your trust name for the first name and a portion of the trust name for the last name. Did you say
Yeah,
that?
yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. You
Okay.
can.
Okay. And just curious, what is that so I guess once you do that, how do you then I don't know, does that mean that there's no name associated with it then? It's all just the
No,
trust name?
no, that's just the name that's on the account. So you have an
Okay,
account
gotcha.
and then you have several entities in your account. So your account is going to be called whatever you want it to be, and it's going to be under that email and that password that you choose. And for it, let's just
I
say you
see.
have 5 different entities that you have a DUNS for. All 5 of them are going to be under that one account.
Okay, okay. And then where you are putting your name, would you ever put TTEE after it in any of this?
Yeah, so you can always, so wherever you're putting your name, you can put trustee or you can put TTE.
Okay, and this is when establishing the DUNS number also, we could do that.
Yeah,
Okay, that was it for me. Thank you.
you're welcome, Stacy. Next we have Erica.
Hi,
Hey.
I have two questions. The first question is about the promissory note. When you put yourself down as a trustee, you can also put yourself down as a lender.
So the lender and the borrower are two different positions. So if the trust is lending, remember the trust has a trustee, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the trust is lending. So if
No, like if we're taking a loan from someone, can I be the person who gives the trust the loan and also be the trustee?
yes.
Oh, okay. So like
So
Erica Sullivan.
the trust can receive loans from the trustee, the trust can receive loans from anybody, the trust can receive loans from the beneficiary.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, I'm looking to trade under the trust,
Mhm.
and I wanted to know how you would best structure that because I just happened to jump on a webinar that you did with your trader, and you guys, the question came up about trading under the trust, and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna get to that." And I'm sure you probably did in the community, and I just didn't see it. But I was just wondering how you would structure that.
Okay, so your brokerage account, you have to set up a brokerage account and your brokerage account is going to be in the name of the trust. So that's what we do. So we use PlexiTrade as our broker. So PlexiTrade allows trusts to they'll give you an account in the name of the trust. Okay. So you'll set it up with, that's what we have done. Okay. So you'll set it up, your brokerage account in the name of the trust, and then they trade on MetaTrader 4. So then you'll have your live MetaTrader 4, and then you'll go ahead and do your trading. So are you talking about Forex or are you talking about something else? Because I don't know, I don't know of like all of the brokerages. So what are you specifically talking about trading?
So right now I'm looking into Forex and futures.
Okay.
Forex,
Yeah.
futures, indices. Um, I have one other question regarding the trading piece. This may not exactly be about the trust. You had your trader do a webinar and he put an offer up for some type of one-on-one with him or a group. And I was just wondering if you guys are going to have another webinar like that soon.
We are.
Okay, that's it.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Erica.
And that one platform you mentioned is down right now.
Yeah, so PlexiTrade is not down, is they are actually doing updates to their licensing. And so they have frozen registrations. So I'm gonna send them an email later today to see when they're gonna resume registration.
Yeah, because tell them they holding up my money.
They holding up your money?
They holding up my money.
All right, honey. I want my money, honey. Yes. Don't worry, everyone. So I'm gonna reach out to PlexiTrade. I'm one of their fund managers. So I will find out when they're going to resume registration. And that's for the
What
PAM
other
account.
Oh, sorry.
Huh?
That's Erica Sullivan.
Oh, yeah, what's up?
No, I want you to finish what you were saying. You say you was gonna reach out to Plexi Trade.
Yeah, so, what I was gonna say is, what we're discussing is the PAM account. So that's one of the investments that we have, here available for the community. So that's where our trader, he trades for us, and so we, earn, passive income through the, profits that we receive through the trades. So that's the only way to passively invest in the foreign exchange market is through a PAM account. So I will reach out to PlexiTrade to see if they're like when, because they told me 3 weeks. And that's just because they're doing updating to their licensing. And I wasn't even surprised because it happened the same week as the inauguration. So I was like, okay, no problem. This was anticipated. So I'll reach out to them and see what the time frame is now. So what was your question, Erica?
I just was wondering if you would trade under, or is it allowable to trade under the faith-based organization?
I would.
Yeah, so you can trade under any trust. So yes, it is allowable. So if you go, so whenever you have these types of questions, I just want to empower you right now. Okay. So whenever you have these types of questions, you should always refer to your governing instrument. What is your governing instrument? That's the actual trust. So if you go into the trust and if you go into the trustee powers, you will see it's in black and white and it's there. And I mentioned it, it came out of my tongue yesterday, that you are allowed to trade, you're allowed to have a brokerage account, you're allowed to invest in stocks, any type of commodities, any type of different foreign currencies, you're allowed to do all of that. It's inside of the actual indenture.
You are correct. I heard you say that. I work midnight, so sometimes my brain goes in and out. I'm sorry. But you're correct. As you said
Don't
that, you
worry.
reminded me. I've heard you said that, say that,
Mhm.
but it's a lot of information for me. I'm jumping in
It's
cold.
too much. It's too much information, Erica. Let's just be honest. It's too much information. So that's why I
Yeah,
tell you guys the journey. And that's why I
yes.
appreciate when a lot of the community members, they keep coming back, every single month for the workshops. Because like you guys say, you learn something different, you learn something new, or we talk about different stuff. Even though the foundational things are the same in the workshop, it's different because you have different attendees, different questions, different scenarios. You guys are learning different stuff. These conversations we've never even had, right? So I appreciate you guys.
Yes, that's a blessing being able to come back and listen to the different questions because there's so much to learn. Definitely a
Yeah,
blessing.
yeah.
And I don't want
So
to, jump on a bandwagon, but you are doing an amazing job. This is a very impactful work that you're doing. I
thank
appreciate you.
Thank you, Erica. I appreciate that so much. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate every single community member. You guys really are like working together, you're networking, and we are all, family, and you guys are doing the work. So I just appreciate you guys being connected to you guys. I really do. All right, so we're gonna continue on with Q&A. So we have Cindy.
Hi, Christina.
Hey, Cindy, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Just two quick questions. The first one is the documents that we have to get notarized. If we're using iPostal, for example, the addresses that are given that are close to my zip code are Orange County,
Mhm.
but of course, I'm in Seminole.
Mhm.
So I would put Orange County because that's the address for the iPostal address that they're giving me, which will be the address for the business.
So, you actually will put the county where the documents are being notarized, not the county
Okay,
where that's associated with the trust address.
okay. All right, so that'll be Seminole. All right. And then the second question, so the business trust that we're gonna be creating as a leverage account or a leverage trust to create the business credit, because it's gonna be public anyway, do we need to incorporate that one? Do we need to go to the Secretary of State? You know how you normally do for an LLC, how you have to send the documents and you have to wait on them and,
You don't,
um,
you
okay,
don't. Yeah, so it's already going to be a legal structure and you can
okay,
already build credit and do all of the necessary things that you need to do for that entity. So you don't have to register it with the Secretary of State.
okay. Just asking because you know how they like to charge, especially here in Florida, they like to charge that
Yeah,
money. And
of
that's,
course.
that's
They
good to
want
know.
Yeah, that's why the Secretary of State, does what they do because they're charging you an annual fee and you're
Yep,
keeping the lights on over there.
yep,
So,
yep.
yeah, of course.
That's really good to know. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Absolutely. And thank
that's all I
you.
had. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. Next we have Nicole. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Hey, Nicole, are you still
Hi
available?
there. Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute. I just have a couple questions. I got booted off the call yesterday because I had a bad connection, unfortunately, so I missed most of the class. I got booted off after less than a half an hour. So I'm wondering if there's a link for yesterday's class because I just wanted to go through that on my own.
Yeah,
Could you put that
absolutely.
in the chat maybe, or what's the
Uh,
best way I can find that?
so do you have access to the online portal?
I'm sure I do.
Okay,
I
awesome.
haven't quite figured out how to fully navigate it, but yes, I'm sure I have access to it.
Okay, so all of the recordings are uploaded into the online
Okay,
portal. So you just have to log in. You're gonna see
okay,
two, I don't know the word, two courses. One says the program, the other one says workshop recordings. And then you'll just
okay,
click workshop recordings, you'll scroll down to the very bottom and you'll be able to see yesterday's recording and the entire week.
okay, perfect. All right, great, thank you. And then I just
Sure.
have one other
Yep.
thing. I'm trying to figure out structure-wise. I wanted to create a holding company, and then I don't have an LLC and I don't want to have an LLC. I don't want to deal with the state like that. So I'm wondering if the best thing to do would be to create another unincorporated business and put that in the holding company. Does that make sense? Is that where I would
Yeah,
stick
you
that
can.
under the holding company? But I guess I'm just thinking in terms of building credit, does it make more sense to use the name of the business that's under the holding company? It's an art studio, so I'm thinking the holding company may hold more weight in terms of building credit.
Yeah, so that's a very good idea. So if you want to build credit with the art studio, then you
Mm-hmm.
can, that would be awesome. Yeah.
So I should use the name of the art studio, or do you think it's better to use the holding company to build the credit?
So the art studio is going to be providing products and services, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, and the art studio is going to be dealing with the public, and you're already going to have like a website and a phone number, and you're going to
Yes,
operate it as a legitimate business, right?
yes, yep.
Then that's that you want to build credit with.
Do it with that. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, I think that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for everything. This whole week has been amazing.
You're
Appreciate
welcome,
you. Thank you.
Nicole.
Thank you so
You're
much. All right. Take care. How you?
all right. Next we have Zaran.
Yes, hi Christina. Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you so much. You're such a wealth of information. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate those kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
Okay, I think I have a couple of simple questions. One being on the Dun and Brad on the Dun and Bradstreet's application where it asks for the number of employees, you would add the grantor as a employee, right? The
You
grantor
can,
would be one of the
yeah,
employees.
yeah, and you can add anyone that's associated with the trust. So you can add the
Okay.
grantor, you can add beneficiaries, you can put whatever number of people that are playing a role in the trust organization. So they're playing a
Oh,
role.
okay. Okay. Great. Got it. The next one is, with the board meetings. Um, can we have virtual meetings, or does it have to be all in person?
You can
Can
have
you do
virtual
like
meetings.
just
Yeah,
okay?
you can have virtual meetings, you can have meetings over the telephone. You can have telephone meetings, you can have Zoom meetings, FaceTime.
Okay. And the next question is, okay, if I have rental properties and I don't have them in like a LLC or a company or anything, they're in my name, which is crazy. Um, should I go ahead
You
and put them in
know
like a
that's
L?
great.
I know it's crazy. I know I'm supposed to have been done this, and that's why I got on this because I'm like I got to take care of this. This is crazy.
Yeah, I'm excited that you're here.
Yes, yes. So would I go ahead and create a LLC and put them in the LLC and then put them in the business trust, or could I just go ahead and just put them in the business trust?
You want to go ahead and put them straight into the business trust so that you can avoid probate with those rental properties.
Okay. So I don't have to worry about putting it in like a corporation or LLC. Just put them
No,
straight in the business trust.
put them straight in the business trust.
Okay. And my last
Because
question.
if you, I will let you
Okay.
know if you create an LLC, you put that house into the LLC, it's gonna go straight to probate, and that's not what you want.
Okay. Because I was thinking like put it in the LLC and then put the LLC in the trust. So just avoid the LLC.
No, the asset has to be directly owned by the trust, not by an
Okay.
asset.
Oh, okay. Okay, and
Mhm.
my last question is, I know this webinar is about the trusts. I wanted to know, do you offer like any webinars on like the IUL policies, the IUL insurance policies, and how to go ahead and go towards trying to do that? Because I want to do
Yes,
that as well.
yes, we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. So our IUL specialist, she will be here tomorrow and she will educate you for an hour on the IUL policies and how to use it to eliminate debt and build wealth and have it within your preservation plan for your estate.
Okay, all right, got
You-
it. Thank you so
You're
much.
gonna be here tomorrow, right?
Definitely, yes, yes.
Right, girl. Show up. Show up.
I'll be here. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, next we have Randy. Hi, Randy.
How you doing? Good day.
Wonderful. Greetings.
Good, good. I'm glad that you could hear me. You're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you, Randy.
Okay, my first question, I have three questions. My first one is the BOI with Sinfin. Do we still have to report it with the trust?
No, it's not required with a trust.
Wonderful. The second one is I know from January we talked about being grandfathered in as an international trust.
Yeah.
Did that happen? And where internationally is it based?
So it's going to be, I don't want to disclose it right now. So no, it didn't happen yet. So
Okay.
I'm currently working on getting an international trust, and it's going to be for everyone who is in the community now. So you guys are going to be grandfathered in and you're going to get access to the international trust and all of the steps that you need in order to start offshoring. So meaning getting access to offshore bank accounts, because almost everybody on this call all of your bank accounts are in the United States and you're so heavily invested in the United States. And so now it's time for you to get access to things internationally, including investments, real estate, and bank accounts. Okay. So a lot of you guys, you quote unquote speak about not being in the jurisdiction of the United States, but at the end of the day, all of your banks are US banks. So you want to step into the realm where you have Swiss bank accounts and bank accounts in other countries and islands. And so I'm currently working on that. I don't want to disclose too much right now, so I'm not going to answer the question of where it's based. Obviously, I know where it's based, but when that time comes, you will know everything.
Appreciate the transparency. The third is the one-on-one I'm supposed to have with you. I wasn't trying to do that since November. I haven't gotten into my portal or anything, plus the one-on-one I'm supposed to get. So when can that happen?
Oh, we can do it Monday or anytime next week. So I remember we were going back and forth and there was an issue with scheduling. So
Correct.
let's put something on the schedule for next week. So I'll have my assistant reach out so that we
Appreciate
can
it.
do something for next week, okay?
All right. Thank you so much. Have a good day and
You're
continue
welcome,
the great
Randy.
work.
Thank you, Randy. All right, next we have Mia. Hey, Mia.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful.
Okay, good. All right. So my first question is that, okay, first of all, when I got into the real estate business and I created my LLCs, I did separate LLCs for each property. So therefore, if something were to happen, I would get sued for one property, my others would not be affected. So if I dissolve my LLCs for these properties and transfer them. Do I need to transfer them each individually into its own trust for liability purposes? I guess is my first question.
Yeah, so remember, there's so many different strategies. There's so many different routes that you can take, okay?
Okay.
So, and it also depends on which trust, right? Because okay. First of all, do you want to have one property per trust? Yes, because
Yeah,
the same thing applies for your LLC. If your LLC is sued, then they're only going to take whatever assets that are inside of that entity, right? So
that's
the
what I
same thing
thought.
goes
Yep.
with the trust. Same thing goes with the trust. If there's any claims against the trust, they can only touch the assets that are inside of that trust, okay? So for your strategy, you can definitely do that. So you can do one trust per property, okay?
Okay. All right.
And so a lot of real estate investors, they choose to take that route. And some of them, they want to have a more simplistic structure versus a more, complex structure. But I think that because you're already used to it, you need to go down that route of one entity per asset. You're already in it. So
Yeah.
for sure,
And,
it's the same
and
concept.
okay, yeah. And then prior to taking your class, originally I was thinking that I would do each LLC once I dissolve them and put it into a business trust. But now that I've learned a little bit about the different trusts, I was thinking about putting them into each individual one into a faith-based trust. Because it's kind of in line with what I wanted to do when I was going to start a nonprofit anyway. But a question that I do have is that when I dissolve these LLCs, I'm going to go back to the promissory note here. The funds that are in these bank accounts, should I dissolve my LLC and then transfer the funds into my name and then deposit the funds from my name into the trust and then do a promissory note? Or should I just transfer direct from the LLC to the trust and then dissolve the LLC? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And that's a wonderful
Okay.
question. And like my insides are like jumping from joy because you asked that question. And I kind of mentioned it I don't know if it was yesterday or today. All the days are like blending in, but it's the second option. So you should do a loan from the LLC to the business trust and then dissolve the LLC.
Okay,
Or
can you repeat
whatever
that?
trust. Yes, so do a loan. So the LLC is going to lend the trust the funds and then you dissolve the LLC.
Okay, to trust. Okay. And then dissolve. Okay. All right. And then another question that I have, I'm not very familiar with this whole virtual address and phone number. So how does that work exactly? So we go ahead and we get a virtual number, but then if somebody calls, it will just automatically come through to our number?
Correct. Yeah, it's a porting system.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, so
Okay.
they'll never have your number. And so it's a second number that you can use that will still ring on your phone.
Okay. And I want to kind of go back to the banking really quick. Because you've been doing this a long time, do you recommend having trust accounts with like smaller local banks or like a larger, like a Wells Fargo bank?
I
And
recommend smaller banks like regional
okay,
banks and your regional banks, your local banks and credit unions.
okay.
So
Now, as
I tell people to stay away from Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and Chase because they actually
okay,
ask you your trust documents. And so I
okay,
haven't seen it to where there are several of our community members that actually have gone down the route and have set up an account with Chase, Wells Fargo, and BOA. And
okay,
they decided to provide their trust documents. I don't recommend that. So I tell everyone to avoid those bigger national banks for that purpose because they do offer trust accounts, but their legal department requires you to provide the entire trust.
okay, gotcha. So the reason that I had asked that question is because I'm considering picking my domicile in a state that I don't live in at the moment. And so I didn't know if I picked that particular state, if getting an account in the state that I live in would pose any type of a problem.
I don't think that it'll pose a problem. Another thing that I recommend is do an online bank because then that doesn't become an issue. It's irrelevant. So the online bank that I recommend that will not ask you for your trust indenture is Ally Bank, which is the one that I gave the example from today.
Okay, Allied, ALLIED. Or
ALLY.
oh,
ALLY.
okay, Ally. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, some people call it Ally. It's Ally.
Okay.
Yeah. So they won't ask you for your trust and you could be anywhere in the world.
Okay. And I know that you went over this before. I'm sure you did. But when loans are being given out or promissory notes are being filled out, whether if it's a loan, from the trust to the trustee or trust to the beneficiary or whatever the case may be, does the board have to approve that? And do you need to document that in the minutes
So
for
you do
that
want
particular?
Yeah, you do want to document it. So you want to document whatever you feel is absolutely necessary. So if you're lending a beneficiary $100,000, I would definitely have a board meeting about it and document it,
Okay.
right? So I mean, but if you're lending them $100, I don't know how pertinent that is. So it depends on you, but for loans, I think that those are something that needs proper documentation. And so that's why we go down the route of actually officially having a promissory note. And you should have a board meeting about it for any additional terms and just to add more information about the actual lender, right? So whoever, excuse me,
Yeah.
not the lender, the borrower, like who is the borrower? Let's get some more information about the borrower that's not going to be on the actual instrument. Whatever information that's not in the instrument, the promissory note, put it inside of the board meeting.
Okay, gotcha. And so then going back, and this is the last thing I'll ask, for the moment anyway. So you had said to do the LLC loan to the trust and then dissolve the LLC. But then how would that be documented on the promissory note if the LLC is then dissolved?
So, it's not gonna be documented. It's not gonna be documented on the promissory note. So you're gonna have a board meeting about it,
Okay.
right? And so, what we'll do is like a loan forgiveness, like, hey, you don't have to pay the loan back.
Okay. All right, awesome. I really appreciate you, girl.
Thank you, Mia. Appreciate you too. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. So next we have, Namir, do you have a question? Because we got like 6 other people behind you.
You know I don't. I just want to say, listen, you my genie in the bottle. No
Namir sings
joking.
now, you
No,
guys.
no, I ain't got nothing. I just want to edify you and lift you up. That's it, man. I'm just listening. Like you said, I come
Thank
on and just
you.
get something new every time, man. I'm telling you. It's
Exactly.
wonderful.
I know we always have different conversations because there's different people that are in the workshop. So
Yes.
the conversations are just totally different. I love it. But
Yes.
thank
And
you,
you,
Namir.
listen, you the greatest. That's all I got to say.
I appreciate you. Thank you. All right, perfect. So we're trying to get through Q&A here. So I have 6 more people and then we're gonna wrap it up, you guys. So I have Maria, Michelle, Tanya, Stacy, Denise, and Zaran, okay? So Maria? Maria,
Yes,
are
I
you still
have.
available? Okay,
Yes,
awesome.
I'm here. I'm
All
sorry.
right.
So I
I almost
apologize.
skipped over to the next person. I didn't hear you, Maria.
I'm here.
Okay.
I actually was I'm in something different, so I wasn't able to really tune into everything, and I'm hoping
Oh,
I
you
can
cheating on
rewatch it.
us. Maria is
Yeah,
cheating on us, everybody.
I know, I know. I apologize
She
from
multitasking.
from the bottom of my heart,
Right,
but I
I
had
feel it,
something
girl.
important I had to get to. But as this is important too, my question is, I know you spoke about land trust before. Have we gone? Are we using land trust as the business trust? Is that like the same type of entity? Entity?
Yeah, so a land trust is specifically for real estate, and so you don't put any other assets inside of a land trust. So it's just like what it says, right? It's specifically for that one purpose and that one thing. The reason and so we don't use land trust just because of that one sole restriction. So that's why we use the other trust, and specifically the business trust if you're like a real estate investor, because you can own multiple assets, including real estate.
Okay.
Mhm.
Wait 1 second. I got her. I got her, bye. I'm so sorry. I got five
Okay.
calls. Okay, so that was one question. Okay, so good. Basically, to sum it up, we still use the land trust will be used the same way as we would do a LLC.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
it's just for real estate, yeah. Just for yeah.
Okay. Now, with any of the 3 trusts that we did with the FBO, the family, and the business, is there any of the trusts that we should not um get credit with? Or
All 3 of the trusts can build credit. I personally will tell you not to build credit with all trusts. That doesn't make sense at all. So like your family trust where a majority of your assets will go, you don't want to build credit with that trust. The FBO, I don't see the need for you to build credit with the FBO. Unless that's a way that you want to get funding, but usually people will get funding with the FBO through grants. So that's why I specifically just focus on that one thing, which is build business credit with a business trust. You're not going to have all of your entities have build business credit. No, just choose one and have it be a very isolated, intentional situation.
Okay. And then for the
It's a strategy.
Okay, and then with the virtual address and phone numbers, does each entity trust? So say if I had 10 trusts in total, do I have to have each and every one of them have a different address and a different phone number?
So you can, I would tell you if you're able to do that, because some people think about the financial commitment, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so it's a lot to have a number and address for all three. So if you wanted to condense it to just two, you can, and it could be one for the business trust if you're doing, credit and holding, and then the other address will be for the other ones that you're going to keep absolutely private, and that's your family trust and your FBO. So it depends on how you operate it, and it depends on your pockets and how much you want to, invest into that.
Okay, and then one last question, just to when we're doing an amendment. So I have a LLC, I have a holding company, and neither one of them I did nothing with. So I have a LLC, and then I have a holding company. It was not structured properly, and I have not been able to properly correct it, because I didn't set it up. They just set it up wrong. Um, Eventually, and I have it set up in Wyoming. Eventually, will I have to do I have to take anything out of I'm so sorry. Does should I make one trust or two trusts the owners of the holding company, or should it just be one?
It's not necessary to have two trusts. You would only use two trusts if if it was two different owners and both of those owners had their own separate entities. So you only need one trust to own a LLC.
Okay. Okay. And then when we go to sign at the bank for it, when they ask who the members are, we could just put the members of the trust?
Yeah, so you'll put the trust and then you have to choose who's going to be the authorized signer for the account.
Okay. And it could be more than one.
Yep.
Okay. I think that is it for right now, and I hope to go speak to you later because I have a bunch of questions and I know I was in and out and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna miss it. But yesterday was horrible because I got kicked out every 3 minutes.
Oh, that sounds, oh my gosh. Like, is that your Wi-Fi?
No, no.
Then what is
Like
it?
rest of the days I've been at the same place and I don't know.
Cindy said entering an area with bad reception. I'm not sure. I don't know. I didn't get kicked out every 3 minutes, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was like, I'm getting kicked out.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, so you're gonna show up tomorrow, right, Maria?
I will be there for part of the time. Yes.
Okay.
I have an
Okay.
event that I had to go to. It's mandatory.
Yeah, okay. Awesome. Thank you for being here, Maria.
Christina,
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Christina, could I say I do have a question about, so
Yeah,
what
go
you're
for it.
basically saying and you're showing them is like you're keeping it separate. You have public and then you have private. From my understanding, you can't mix the two, kind of like oil and water, right? You got to keep it separate. Ain't that what you're trying to
Separate,
show
yeah.
them?
Yeah,
Public
absolutely.
and
So,
private is two different. Yeah, they teach us to operate in public, and we don't know nothing about private.
yeah.
So it's like, yeah. So okay, I'll show you.
Yeah, that's the truth. Thank you, Namir. All right, next we have Michelle. Hey, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you, Michelle?
I'm good. This is my third time around. Every time I come, I keep learning more and more. It's great. Um,
Yay! So glad to hear that.
Yes. So I have a question about the FBO Ministry Trust. Can one of my trustees, my co-trustee, be my grantor?
So your co-trustee is gonna be, your co-trustee from a different trust that's not the FBO, right?
No.
It's not the co-trustee of the FBO, right?
Yeah, the co-trustee of the FBO, can they also be the grantor of
The
the
grant-
FBO?
No, so the grantor cannot serve in any other position, only the grantor. The grantor can't be a co-trustee, can't be a beneficiary, cannot be a board member.
Okay. All right. And how many do I need for that one?
How many what?
Trust.
Grantors? You only need one trustee to operate a trust.
Okay. Yeah, because I went and set it up. I was like, let me see if I did it right because I was rushing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you only need one trustee, so if it's you, it's you.
Okay. Also for the one-on-one, I wanted to know if your assistant could also reach out to me because I want to still get those sessions. I did everything. I just want you to go over it and make sure it's right.
Okay, absolutely. Yeah, I'll have her reach out to you. What's your last name? Is CRUD?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay. Bye.
Hey, Tanya.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you?
Okay, I'm still trying to understand this holding company. So if I have a holding company and I want a couple of DBAs under it, like a DBA, do those DBAs need EIN numbers?
So, not that I know of. I don't know of DBA. So a DBA to me is not a legal structure.
Oh,
So
okay.
is there a legal structure attached to that DBA?
Yes, so it's the holding company. So the holding companies is the main company, but I don't want that to be public. So I just want to get a bank account so that can hold the money for the other businesses instead of getting multiple trusts. So,
All right. So
saying it
the
wrong?
legal, as long as the legal structure has an EIN, then you're fine. You don't need
So I could
multiple
just,
EIN if you have multiple DBAs.
okay, because I'm going to be using that name for the business. That
Got
name
it.
with that EIN number for that business.
Correct. So the legal structure has an EIN and then you have a DBA attached to the legal structure.
So can I have multiple DBAs or no?
No.
Just
Not that I
one
know of.
DBA under the holding company.
Right.
Okay, so then I can operate under the DBA doing business where it's public.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I think I got it right. Okay. Thank you. I'm
You're
getting it. I'm
welcome.
getting it, girl. I'm getting it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have Stacy.
Hey, Christina. So,
Hi.
real quick. So we have an appointment on Monday, and I just wanted to know, would we be getting a separate email or anything just to confirm that appointment?
Yeah, you should have got an email.
Okay,
You should
because I got an email
and a
back in
text.
I got an email back in January when I originally scheduled the appointment. So I didn't know if I would be getting anything more updated and which is fine if I should just rely on that email. I just wanted to know if I should expect like anything more recent or yeah.
So we send reminders 24 hours before and 1 hour before. So you haven't gotten into that window yet. But do you need it to be a Zoom call? Because typically they're phone calls. What would you like?
Oh, thank you for asking. Could we do a Zoom so I could screen share my documents?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then do you need anything else from me or for that call? Or are you good with it just already having been scheduled?
No, it's fine. Absolutely. Hold on, let me just look at my calendar. Let's see.
This one should be Monday at noon.
Yeah, I have you here Monday at noon.
Hey, okay. And then my last question is when I go into the portal, because I was looking for the replays, and I noticed this the last time too. I do see two options at the top. It says courses, but they're both the exact same. So I don't see any other options. I've kind of like went all through the courses just to see if maybe there was another area for the replays. So I didn't know, should I send an email to an admin or anyone just to look at that?
Yeah, they should. It's impossible for them to be the same. So they have the same exact name?
Yeah, in fact, I'll tell you real quick. So
That sounds
what it
crazy.
what it says is, well, okay, it says all courses and then my courses, and it says all courses one and then my courses one, like next to each other. So when I click
So
on
you
all
only,
course, I'm
it sounds like
sorry,
you're on course?
what's the question again?
So do you only have one course? Because you said my course is one.
I I mean, it said, I'm just saying what it reads. It says all courses one, but then when I click into it, I do see 43 lessons. So, but just the initial option at the top, it says all courses one, and then it says my courses one. And when I click into each of those, it's the same thing. And
Yeah.
it's when I click all the way in, it says I have like 43 courses, but I don't see any areas for like the replays.
Okay. Let me see something real quick.
Mhm.
Let's see. Okay. So that's because you had started off as a do-it-yourself and then you upgraded to the workshop. And so they didn't give you access to the recordings. So I'm gonna send them a message so that they can give you access to the recordings, okay? So
Awesome.
so yeah, it's not there, so we're gonna correct it.
Okay. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stacy. I appreciate you. So I just sent you an email with the Zoom link, okay? For
Yep, I
Monday.
just got it. I just got
Yeah.
it. You are great. Thank you. Have a great
Bye.
one.
You too. All right, next we have is it Denise? Denise, are you still available? All right. Next is Mia.
Hi. Okay.
Hey.
So I was just thinking, so instead of doing a loan from the LLC to the faith-based organization, could I donate the
Oh
funds
yeah,
and then
yeah.
use that as a tax write-off?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely, absolutely. Well, the minute that you said it, just went like this. It doesn't have to be a loan; it could be a donation.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Wonderful. I just wanted to double check that with you because
for
my
sure.
mind turns all the time with like
Yeah,
different angles in terms of how to work things. And I just thought about that. So I thought I'd ask.
yeah. It would be a donation. That's the sweet spot right there, Mia. Stay in the sweet
Okay.
spot.
Okay.
Yes.
Even though, and it's not going to be any type of a conflict of interest because I was a sole proprietor on this LLC, but I'm also trustee on the trust, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah, and you can donate to your own nonprofits or your own charities too.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what rich people do all the time, right? When they have like
Exactly.
their
It's
family
totally
funds.
legal. Yeah, it's totally legal, but at the end of the day, the FBO is not you.
Well, exactly. It's a separate entity, but I just didn't know if that was self-serving at all.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right. Well, that answers that. It's a good day.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, just wait until tomorrow. We're gonna have so much fun tomorrow.
All right, awesome. And then I'm hearing that these people that are on the call are having separate sessions with you. Is that something that I'd be eligible to do as well at some point?
Yes, if you would like. So, okay, so first of all, with the Done With You, with the workshops, you get one complimentary session with me where I'll meet you on Zoom, and I will double check all of your trust documents to make sure that everything is correct.
Okay.
So that's what they're referring to. Some of them are my private one-on-one clients. And so we have several meetings, 5, 6, 7 meetings, depending on how, on their structure. So, so for the workshop attendees, you guys get one meeting with me whenever you want to schedule it. So usually you're going to schedule it once you're done with all of your trust documents, and we'll jump on Zoom, you share your screen, I'll go through everything, or if you want to email it to me, I will go through it with a fine-tooth comb. So there's never been one trustee that has come to me and I haven't seen an error. So every single person, I provide them with the corrections. So that's what you get, and you do it when you're ready. And all you need is the calendar. My calendar is in your email.
All right, wonderful. You have a
Yep.
great rest of your day. Enjoy your
Thank
vacay.
you. Yay. I know, right? I'm about to go party. About to go get
Do it.
lit out here in the streets.
Nice. Take lots of
Yeah.
videos and post those on
Yeah.
YouTube too.
I know.
Imagine the
I'm gonna
views
post
you
it.
get.
Yes, I'm gonna post them, I promise. Thank you guys. All right, so we are all done with Q&A, you guys. Thank you so much for, sticking through the workshop, and we've just completed day 4 of the Wealthy Trustee Workshop. We went through a lot today. So I do have homework for you guys. Tomorrow we are going to be focused on transferring assets, okay? So we're going to focus on real estate. So I will show you guys how to set up the quitclaim deeds for your real estate and how to submit them to the county so that you can record the new deeds with the name, under the name of the trust. I will show you guys how to do bill of sales for your vehicles and submit those to the DMV so that you could place your vehicles into the trust. And then I will show you guys how to do a business purchase agreement so that you can remove yourself as being liable for those businesses, those LLCs. And then I will show you how to process an amendment with the Secretary of State so that you guys are able to remove yourself as the authorized member of those entities. And then you can put the business trust as the new owner of those entities. And then the last thing is we have our guest speaker who's going to come in. She has over 14 years of experience in the insurance industry. She's going to come in and educate you guys on how to utilize whole life policies and index universal life policies in order to build wealth, eliminate debt, and preserve your wealth. It's so important, okay? So she's going to show you how to marry your trust with the policies, okay? So she'll be coming in and educating us. So that's what I have planned for you tomorrow. So the homework is for you to prepare for tomorrow. So what I want you to do is 2 things. The first thing is to complete that worksheet that you received, which is the asset inventory list. Okay, so that is a phenomenal worksheet where you can take inventory of all of your assets, and you want to incorporate that in your trust documents. There's just so much vital information on there. So we'll briefly go over it tomorrow, but I want you to work on it, okay? Because that will put you in a position to where you're prepared to know where which asset is going to go into what entity, okay? Because you have 3 different entities. Majority of your questions is, well, where am I going to put my house? Is it here? Is it there? Is it there? And all of these assets. You have many assets too, okay? And there's some assets that you even forgot about, right? Like old 401ks from jobs that are 10 or 15 years ago, okay? So go ahead and work on that worksheet. And then the second piece of homework is for you to do your due diligence and your research to see which banks that you're going to form a relationship with. So which financial institution are you going to decide to do business with, okay? So is it going to be a bank? Is it going to be a brokerage? Is it going to be a credit union? Okay, so do your research so that you can finalize that section to know that you're going to set up your trust accounts at, you know, XYZ bank. Okay. With that being said, I love you guys. I will see you here tomorrow. Same space, same time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You will receive an email 1 hour before with the Zoom link and the resources and templates that you're going to need for tomorrow. Everybody have a beautiful rest of their day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
You the greatest.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're so